Thank you, Mr. Chair. Director Vought, let me ask you this. Do you believe that veterans who have served this country and put their lives on the line deserve support from the CFPB when they have been defrauded or there's some consumer protection issue?
Absolutely.
And in fact, you believe it so much so, I think you have it in your humility pledge that that's part of your statutory duty. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I'm going to submit for the record a letter that I have here. Actually, it's a story from Las Vegas where I have a military veteran who has a dispute with a mortgage lender. Unfortunately, he is not getting, any response and support from the CFPB.
Happy to take a look at it.
And I want more than that. I want to know what you're actually doing for veterans. I want a reporting from the CFPB, your staff, what you're doing to help veterans. If you think it's limited to a statutory duty, I want to know that. I want a briefing from you and your office specifically what you're doing, and that it's not being challenged in the courts right now. Would you agree to do that for me?
I'm leaving the post on August 1st.
I don't care who's leaving. You're there right now. Send somebody to my office. Are you willing to do that?
We're happy to take a look at the request and
So you will not give me a report?
Not in this moment, no.
No, not at this moment. At some point in time, come to my office.
We will give you whatever information with regard to our work on veterans that you're asking for.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, it is not lost on me in your opening that you talk about how the CFPB has been weaponized and that it is not following the law and it is out of control, because that is exactly what you're doing with the OMB. Since you've been there, as the director of OMB, you have defunded programs and whole agencies Congress authorized and appropriated funds. Even though you're in your statement, you recognize we are the appropriators. Thank you very much for recognizing that. You have delayed and denied funding for programs Congress supported with law and money. You have supported the firing commissioners and staff of multiple federal agencies. You think this should be a bipartisan commission, but you support eliminating all the Democrats that are on commissions on all these federal agencies. Experienced and qualified people who had responsibility to solve problems for the American people and enhance our standing in the world. Not only are prices higher because of the work that you have done in this administration with the president, the world is more dangerous. Let me ask you this. You've been asked about the Housing Trust Fund. We have just passed a bipartisan, bicameral housing trust fund, housing fund to address the housing needs in this country. Your boss didn't support it. Are you committed to sending the funds there when we appropriate those funds based on the bipartisan, bicameral law that we have passed when it comes to housing in the Road to 21st Century Housing Bill?
Senator, we have every intention of apportioning all funds that have been appropriated.
Without any politics, without any type of DEI or wokeism invoked into that?
We're going to make sure that it's spent based on the priorities of this administration. But we're going to do everything we can to get the money out the door.
Well, let me just say this to you, because based on your priorities, and I say this truly, you're putting us in more danger. Let me put a point on this. HIDA, which is the high-intensity drug trafficking areas that I have worked with as a former attorney general, there are programs across the country, there's bipartisan support for them. They disrupt drug trafficking organizations. They combat the ongoing fentanyl crisis that your boss talks about all the time. They protect our communities from drug addiction, overdoses, and crime. Your office decided it was time to delay funding to HIDA. You know what happened because of your delay? The delay was so severe that HIDA programs had to furlough staff and scale back enforcement activities. That's what you're causing here. And you have no authority to do so. And you always talk about court cases. The only reason we're in court is because the court is challenging the decisions you have made and overruling them. And all my ask is, stop playing the games. Stop playing the games. Stop picking winners and losers. If we send something to you in a bipartisan way, we hope you respect it. We hope you respect it. I am frustrated because I have seen time and time again your political you sit right here and you talk about wokeism and the last administration, and you always invoke the last administration. And the only reason you are is because you know why? Who the administration was prior to that? Was the Trump administration. They didn't go through this whole-scale illegally violating the appropriations process. But now all of a sudden, that's happening under your watch. Got a question. What is going on here? So I appreciate it. My time is up. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, ma'am. Senator Banks.
Senator Catherine Cortez Masto used her time in this hearing to raise two larger concerns about government accountability. The first focused on whether federal agencies are still protecting everyday Americans, especially military veterans. The second questioned whether the Office of Management and Budget, led by Russell Vought, is respecting Congress's constitutional authority over federal spending. She began with a straightforward question that was difficult to disagree with. Do veterans who have served the country deserve protection when they become victims of financial fraud or abusive business practices? Vought answered yes. That answer established common ground before Cortez Masto shifted to a real-life example from Nevada. She described a veteran involved in a dispute with a mortgage lender who, according to her, had been unable to get meaningful assistance from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB.